We'll start off with the James Webb Space Telescope. James Webb hasn't captured anything special yet, but it has captured these photos, and this is one of them. You might ask, we sent all this money to space and it gets a picture like this? But that's when you're wrong, because the picture you're seeing right now is 4 billion light years away from us. And that means the light you're seeing right now was sent 4 billion years ago, and the James Webb was able to capture the light. This area you're seeing is called the Pandora Cluster, and the lights you're seeing are not stars, but galaxies, and some of them are insanely large. This is another photo James Webb has taken that is an insane looking galaxy called NGC 1433. In terms of distance in space, this galaxy is actually very close to us, about 46 million light years away, and the previous photo was 4 billion light years away from us. This is the photo that Hubble took, and you can see it's not that detailed, but James Webb did its job. Astronomers, with the help of this photo, realized that around this galaxy there is a lot of space dust and debris that surrounds it, and it creates this beautiful image that looks like an eye. The next photo you're seeing right here is a supernova. Just like we previously said, when a star gets to the end of its life, it explodes with a supernova. This explosion happened in our galaxy, the Milky Way, and it's about 15,000 light years away from us, and it's a star called Sagitta that blew up. Astronomers say that this explosion happened many years ago, but the effects of the supernova still remains, and we were able to capture it. James Webb has studied an exoplanet, planet VHS 1256b, and not only is there an atmosphere, but there are clouds around it as well. Astronomers know that one day on this planet is about 22 hours, and 1 year is very similar to Earth. Another fact about this planet is that it rotates around a brown dwarf. And a brown dwarf doesn't count as a star, it's actually considered a failed star. And the reason that this star doesn't have the light it needs and the temperature is because it lacks hydrogen and helium, or in terms of stars, it lacks fuel. You should know that brown dwarfs are not cold stars, they create a lot of heat, and the planet VHS 1256b that rotates around it is at a distance where the brown dwarf will keep it warm. But let's look at something else, Metaverse. We've created a complete video about the Metaverse if you would like to see it. But a lot of people want to know when we'll actually reach this level of Metaverse. Mark Zuckerberg advertised the Metaverse in a way where the next day it's gonna get poppin'. But we really don't have any news about when it's actually gonna be released and when it's going to be looking like this. It's not like they gave up. They're still trying out new ideas to see what works, and the amount of money they invested in this project is not gonna go to waste, because some way or another they're gonna make it work. Mark Zuckerberg is one of the biggest investors in this idea. And up next we got Epic Games, creator of the video game Fortnite. Epic Games has an idea to take part of Fortnite and turn it into a metaverse, but obviously they haven't gave a release date. Things like this don't have a release date. When the internet was beginning, there was no set date on when it's gonna be very popular. It just slowly grew and took over. The metaverse might be the same. Maybe it'll start off very slow, or sooner than later, you'll notice that the metaverse is taking over the world like the internet. Another cool thing we should talk about is Mars. We've previously made a video about the most advanced rover on Mars right now. It's called Perseverance, and it started in 2021. This is the route the rover has taken. About a month ago, it celebrated its second year. They haven't really announced anything interesting the Perseverance has found, or they might have not announced it yet. We received some comments. What happened to Elon Musk's plan? He was planning on building a city on Mars that held 1 million people. You probably know that SpaceX belongs to Elon Musk, and his plan was to send astronauts to Mars by the year 2025. Because of Corona and purchasing Twitter, Elon Musk has slowed down the process of SpaceX, and they say they will go to Mars by year 2029. If you read about Elon Musk a lot, you'll know that he used to say that by the year 2050, he wants 1 million people living on Mars and actually create a city for these people. This is an idea that seems like wishful thinking. First, they have to send professional astronauts to Mars to make sure it might be habitable for this many people. After all the testing, then they might send the actual people. Just like we said, SpaceX plans on sending their astronauts by the year 2029, and it's good to know that NASA is thinking to send their astronauts to Mars as well by the year 2035. Let's see who goes first. Let's talk a little bit about Hyperloop. Hyperloop is basically a design for a train that's a very narrow tunnel. This tunnel has no air in it, which is basically a vacuum, so there's no air drag. And then a train will move with the power of electromagnetics. So it doesn't have any friction with like wheels or brakes. Since there is no air pressure in this vacuum, you could move extremely fast in there because there's no drag. The most important technology that's expensive to produce is the electromagnetic railing and the tube itself, because it has to be a vacuum all the way through. Engineers believe if such project is successful, this train will be able to move at speeds up to Mach 3. And it's good to know that Mach 1 is the speed of sound. Another idea that helps is that it's not only meant for speed, and that's because since it's a vacuum, there's no drag on the train itself. So where does Lego come from and what's its history? As you know, Lego is the most famous toy on planet Earth. It's something very simple but not cheap at all. It's different plastic pieces that lock into each other in different ways. The thing that made Lego a very famous company is the quality of the product, and they lock into each other with ease like no problem. The founder of Lego is this person, a Danish man by the name of Ole Christiansen. Ole was a carpenter in the 1930s, but because of the Great Depression, he was laid off from work, and he was in a terrible situation because he had 5 children. That is why he begins creating toys with wood at his house. And since he did such a good job, people would buy the toys off of him. Just these selling and creating toys, he creates his own workshop, and it slowly turns into an actual company. In the year 1949, when Ole Christiansen was 57 years old, he changed the name of his company to Lego, which is a Danish word for leg goat, or play well. When he named this company Lego, he had left wood behind, and he was using plastic for the toys. This was around the time he invented these plastic bricks we all know and love, and they're all created in different sizes and colors. Two things made Mr. Christiansen reach success. Of course, one of them is the idea of these bricks, and another one was the tool of injection molding. A machine that injects plastic into a mold and a product is created. But one of the most important pieces is the mold itself. It is good to know that not only is Lego one of the biggest Danish companies in the country, but in terms of toys, it's the biggest toy maker in the world. And it's good to know they profit about $2 billion per year. I saw a comment that asked, how does wind flow? Wind is all about air pressure. and the way sun heats up Earth. The sun cooks the earth unevenly. Some places are hotter and some places are colder. The places that get warmer, the air flows up, and the places that are colder, the air flows down. That is why in a hot area, the air pressure at the bottom is lower, and since the air pressure is high at the cold spot, the cold place wants to replace the air in the hot area. The higher the temperature difference is in a certain area, the air temperature will be much more severe. In our video, we spoke about goats in Australia, and you guys asked to talk about the rabbits in Australia. In the 19th century, the British brought different African animals to Australia thinking it's a good idea. The main ones were sheep, goats, and rabbits, but now they realized that they made a huge mistake. Right now, there are more than 200 million rabbits in Australia. And as you know, they mate very easily. The rabbits are basically destroying the climate and green spaces of Australia. In our clip about goats, we said there are no actual predators that could hunt these rabbits down. And that is why the authorities are thinking of different ideas to get rid of them. Some people think to create a pathogen or a virus to basically eradicate all the rabbits. But they deny it because it could hurt other animals. You might say, why don't they give hunting licenses? They do, but it wouldn't even put a dent on it. Let's say they kill 10,000 of them a year. It wouldn't even make a difference. They say if they can't eradicate these rabbits, in the near future, you will find these all over the country. Our final part is about the tallest fall in the world, the Angel Falls in Venezuela. From the top all the way to the bottom is 979 meters. That's unbelievable because that's more than half a mile. One of the first people that wrote about this fall was Fernando de Berrio, a Spanish explorer. He didn't say anything specific about this fall, but it's just very tall. The next time somebody wrote about this fall was in the 19th century, and that was by Walter Raleigh, a British explorer. What he was doing was trying to find the city of El Dorado, something that's a mythical city. Walter has wrote about the Angel Falls that he can't believe that the water is falling from such a high place. The tourists that visit this place say it seems like the water is falling from the sky.